It is an issue that's been before the Kalamazoo City Commission since the end of 2008.
Now voters will decide whether to adopt an ordinance that would make it illegal to discriminate against gay, lesbian, and transgender individuals when it comes to hiring, housing, and public accommodation.
Emotions are running high as the election nears, and tonight, 24-Hour News 8's Mark Thompson takes us inside the controversy.
Sex, religion, politics, topics often avoided in public, but now front and center in the anti-discrimination debate for Kalamazoo voters. Both sides engaged in a fierce campaign. Gloves off, lines drawn.
So here is the ballot language.
Kalamazoo County Treasurer Mary Balkema heads the opposition group Kalamazoo Citizens Voting No. Balkema was instrumental in gathering thousands of signatures 2 different times to get the measure rescinded by the City Commission and placed on the ballot. Their main argument is that an ordinance protecting the rights of gays and lesbians in hiring, housing, and public accommodation isn't necessary. They say discrimination against gays and lesbians simply doesn't happen in Kalamazoo.
The opposite side cannot cite one example of discrimination in housing, employment, or public accommodation. So this discriminatory ordinance is looking for a non-existent problem.
So the Resource Center has a LGBT library.
David Garcia is executive director of the Kalamazoo Gay and Lesbian Resource Center. The lesbian, gay, transgender community and its supporters say the ordinance is not only necessary, but past due.
Which is frustrating to us when we hear the opposition say that Kalamazoo doesn't need an ordinance, because it just doesn't happen here in Kalamazoo. Gay people aren't being fired. I'm very quick to say, come on down here to the Resource Center and volunteer for us for a month. Answer the phone calls, and you'll see that that's simply not true.
The Resource Center says that it's logged 20 complaints this year alone, 6 of them for LGBT workplace discrimination. However,
until there's an ordinance, there's really no official record-keeping body at the city level.
And Garcia argues the rights of gay, lesbian, and transgenders are left out in current state and federal anti-discrimination laws.
It is legal to fire a gay person. It is not legal to fire a black man or woman. It is legal to fire a transgender person. It is not legal to fire a woman based on the fact that she is a woman. So all we're asking for are the same rights that those protected classes have.
And black, white, straight, gay, we're working hard to be one Kalamazoo.
This is a TV spot paid for by One Kalamazoo, a group supporting the Resource Center's position. One Kalamazoo has raised nearly $350,000 for the Vote Yes campaign, compared to $34,000 raised by the opposition. But it's this flyer, circulated by the opposition, that's grabbing all the headlines. It depicts cross-dressing or transgender men and addresses the issue of public accommodation. Opponents say if the ordinance passes, men like this will be able to use the women's bathroom. Ordinance supporters say that it's nothing more than a dirty tactic.
And again, this is a fear tactic that is also simply not true. There is already state law in place regarding public bathrooms. This ordinance doesn't supersede state law. It just doesn't.
Balkema, who's been known to use images from various gay and lesbian websites to depict what she believes is an immoral lifestyle, says the flyers address a legitimate concern.
I think it's absolutely fair. It's gotten a lot of people's attention, and a lot of people told me they're no based on our flyer.
Balkema has also rallied support from leaders of a key voting demographic, African-American ministers. Pastor Timothy Ezell of Mount Calvary Christian Bible Church in Kalamazoo explains why he's encouraging his congregation to vote no.
As being a pastor, I have to stand upon the scriptures, and the scriptures definitely teach and proclaim that the issue of homosexuality is a sin before Almighty God. It's not that we hate anyone, but it is definitely a sin.
LGBT supporters encourage voters to read the actual ordinance. In it, there's a religious exception section where churches and other religious organizations would not be forced to hire gays and lesbians if doing so would go against their beliefs. In the end, both sides standing firm.
We think that God's design for marriage is between one man and one woman, and the ultimate goal here is to redefine marriage, and we know that. This is just a continuum and a process until the final goal happens.
Discrimination hurts the community. It takes a mental and emotional toll on the individual. And frankly, it projects an image that I don't think Kalamazoo wants projected.
Mark Thompson, 24-Hour News 8.
If Ordinance 1856 passes, all investigations will be handled by the Kalamazoo City Manager's Office. Violators will face fines of $500 a day until the situation is resolved. You can learn more about all the issues in the upcoming election at woodtv.com, including candidate profiles. 24-Hour News 8 will have complete results on air and online on Election Day. That's Tuesday night.